Via della something, and I already did 18 kilometers, and I have like 18 more kilometers to go. Most people stopped the last 18. Just starting this hike. It's very windy. I'm walking the rocks, but it's kind of front row view. And I was walking with a great Irish guy in his 50s, and also like a German grandma who's in her 60s, I think, and she just retired. Very nice people. We had a little group together. Went out to dinner for her last night. I hope y'all visit Ireland and Germany. They're not a couple. The Irish guy is back at the last town. Maybe I'll see him again. And his name is Kevin and Margit. So very nice people on the Camino, and having some deep discussions. Especially last night, we all went to dinner, and there's this Swiss banker there, or as the Irons call them, wankers. And he loves his job to get money, but he wants to work until he dies, or he just doesn't want to retire, and kind of a sad look on life. Whereas Kevin said something really great, which is like, hey, I don't want to have my job define who I am as a person. And that happens to a lot of people, I think, especially when you come into like a high-powered job. The Swiss banker made money off of deals between Russia and Ukraine, and then when that stuff happened, he semi-retired and then came back to doing it, but in a more Swiss fashion. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like the Swiss banker had all these plans. He was doing the Camino one week, and he would go to work, and he would do the Camino another week. The guy's 62, probably has plenty of money, and made all these plans for this Camino through, I think, through Jerusalem. Maybe some people with me there. And he's like, but I won't be able to do it because I have to work. Some of us are just like, just retire and do it. So, some people fall into the trap of work, and work can be fun. There's nothing wrong with working. But I think it's when you don't follow other plans or other dreams, work can kind of be draining on that person in their life. And it's just like, you kind of see this person being molded by their job and their life, and they're happy and they're content. But I think there's something more to that, and I think being on the Camino for longer than a week is good. There's plenty of people who can only do a week, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think you really get the magic when you're continuing and you kind of lose track of what day it is or where you are, and you're not trying to book the next hotel. You're not trying to like come in and walk. It's about you walk to the next town, and then you find a cool spot, and then you maybe see people that you met 10 days ago. A very interesting thing happened, which is last night Margit, our German friend, who started walking from the top of France, met this other guy at our table who started at the top of France at the exact same day as her, the exact same place. And they both saw each other, and they're like, I know where you're, I think I've seen you before. They both started their trip on like September 2nd, and they didn't see each other till the last day of her trip. Which is pretty wild that they would be doing the exact same path and not run into each other until like her last day. And I think that's what it's about. It's about these connections that you make with people, and also when to cruise on and go back to doing a solo Camino. Look how gorgeous this is. very windy Spanish Street. The sun coming down now. The clouds somehow are not covering the sun. So that's doing great for my face. Everything's at 45, 37, so that's doing great for my self-esteem. I'm not living really good. So I've gone from a not living 44-year-old to a not living 44-year-old. So, but, you know, bad haircut. And I don't have to look at myself, right? So I kind of am what I feel I am, even though people respond to me how I look, right? Because there's a couple modes of thought here, which is like, I have my, how I actually am, physically. I have my image of myself. I have, I guess that's the image I project to other people. And they have their interpretation of me. And then they give me signals that influences how I think about myself too, along with myself. And if everyone keeps telling you you're the asshole in the room, then you're probably the asshole in the room. And everyone tells you you're beautiful, maybe you're beautiful. But everyone could tell you you're beautiful, and that person could still think they look like shit. Because that's just how the human brain works. It takes a healthy balance between like having self-confidence and still taking in criticism about how you respond to the world and act within the world. I feel like on this trip I'm doing very good. I've been an inspiration to people because of my limping and my bad feet, for them to continue on. A lot of people said they would have quit if they saw my feet. And even just yesterday, my giant blister popped and it shot like a fountain all over the floor. And then that was okay. And then I walked to the pharmacy later in the day and they said, wow, you better disinfect that thing and stay on it. We're also going to have a very difficult Camino and probably have to stop. But I feel good. It's good to walk again. Now I'm more in infection maintenance mode. But it's given me a lot of life back in my Camino to be able to like say, I can tackle this. 18-kilometer hike. It's probably like 4.5 hours of walking. It's not really a hike. It's very flat. All this hay. I think we done like some of the elevation a couple days ago in the flat part of Spain, the flat, boring part. A lot of people take cabs past this part of the Camino. I think this is the real test of your mind. Walking through the boring bits. Excuse me. Because life happens in the boring bits too, and you don't want to like try to fill up every single moment with something. Not everything has to be a plan about the future plan. If you spend your whole life planning, then your life is just planning. It's not doing. And I think I felt this when I was talking to this Swiss banker guy, Christoph, right? Even before I left, he ran into me and Kevin, and he got a hotel for the night, and he's like, Marco, are you sure you want to do this? Have you ever done 36 kilometers? And I'm like, dude, like, yeah, I felt fine until I talked to you about it. And if some people can, you know, he wasn't being negative about it, but he was just, you can overplan and overanalyze, and sometimes you just gotta show up and walk. And like that's kind of what I'm trying to do on this journey, which is walk and that's the way. The way is not to stand still. You know, they literally kick you out of albergues at 8 in the morning, and you can't stay there another night, usually, unless you have a bad medical condition. I've done that twice, where I just wasn't able to walk. But usually they go, okay, you need to walk to the next town. What's interesting is I haven't met that many religious pilgrims. A little bit, but you know, it's great to feel the religious aspect of the way too. But I feel like it's made mainly from the people that I meet. Sometimes I go into a cathedral and I don't feel anything. I just feel kind of like, it feels nice that I can rest inside of them, but I just feel, sometimes I feel the pain of all the people that built it. How much effort that took, time. And maybe they loved what they did. But I know there's some cathedral architects who spent their entire lives trying to build one cathedral. And they couldn't even finish it. You know, some cathedrals took 200 years to make. And then I think about why Jesus didn't want anyone to build him cathedrals and have all these giant robes and hats and stuff to signify how holy you are. So, hey, my feet are very sore right now. I still gotta keep walking. So, it's just a little confusing as to why Christianity is like that. That is, they speak about giving up your money and donating to the church and stuff, but the church it's very rich, and they use their money for who knows what. So, once you flake with all this gold, it's difficult to like say, I think that's a good thing to do or not. It's really pretty, but power in churches don't really practice what they preach. So, it's a little confused as to why the Christian religion is like that. I think there's a lot of confusing bits of that. Another idea I had was like, okay, Jesus is in a loincloth and on this cross, and then why are these cardinals all dressed up? Why aren't they in loincloths too? Emulating Jesus. I just don't, that would make more sense to me, that like actually they should have less things and they should preach that way. And I'm sure there are a lot of preachers who do that as well. So those are just my confused ramblings of churches and cathedrals that I've seen here. But they're all very beautiful. Sometimes when I'm in these cathedrals and I see how nice the pictures are, and statues, I think this is like the entertainment for the peasants and things like that. I mean, seeing one cathedral and then going to another town and seeing another cathedral is probably like the closest thing they have to seeing angels and angelic beings in person and seeing all this beauty and the light streaming in through windows and things like that. Especially in the Middle Ages, where I think a lot of knowledge was guarded by the church. So, I don't know. I felt like I would learn more about Jesus on this trip, but I feel more connected to Jesus out in nature than in a cathedral. I mean, Jesus went to the wilderness. He didn't go to a cathedral. He did speak in the temples, but I don't know. I hope I can find more Jesus energy on this trip. I've been chanting a lot of Ram, rum as I walk, which is just God. So chanting God, and you get really into it. You can, every time you walk can be a bead. It's like when you eat the bead with your hand, it's like eating time. Same with walking steps. Coffee bar, El Camino, 3.4 kilometers. 46 minutes. Oh, 3.4 felt sooner than 46 minutes, but I think I'm gonna have to stop there at the coffee bar and grab something and let my feet rest. But I certainly feel how another thing I learned is all the pilgrims that in Santiago, why the Camino was made, is that it was kind of like they found these mountains of Santiago in the 11th century, and it just so happened to be when a lot of people from Islam were coming up from Egypt, and there was all this fighting. So I think part of it is like a recruitment tool to get people down to Santiago to fight for Christianity and stop this Islamic movement in Spain. And then I found out that Jews and Muslims were banned in Spain for a long time, I think till the 18th century or something like that. Which is pretty wild. Maybe not the 18th century, but because Jesus was a Jew, and it's like interesting that the culture would ban Jews after, Jesus is from the Jews, but I guess all the Christians don't like Jews, so yeah, there's that whole thing too. But I'm learning more about history, and I'm literally walking through history, which is exciting for me. It's exciting to be in these spaces where things happen, and I hope to travel more and see more of these places. Piecing together what's happening in the world, I think would be very cool to do. I don't want to be jealous of all these travel channels that people do amazing things, see amazing places. But it's nice to have my own little slice of that. And I think walking is such a visceral experience. I mean, as a human being, we walk. Some people sit most of their lives, but a lot of people walk. And walking great distances is like kind of mind-melting. If you've never walked for an entire day, it is something to behold when you look over at one hill and you're all the way on the other hill. You go, wow, you went over there, and you do that 5 days in a row. Makes me think about all of the Native Americans and how they followed buffalo and traveled around. And that was their society. A lot of walking, a lot of traveling. It was good. I wasn't there, but yeah, so just more Spanish ramblings today. Feeling a little heated. It's nice to see all these birds in the trees. There's just more and more birds as you walk by these trees. I think these trees are for wind blockers for the farm. About 20 minutes in, my feet are kind of hurting right now. Maybe continuing on was a mistake, but it's feeling okay. Got energy, and 45 minutes till I can take a rest. That's fine. I think that's good. But Yeah, everything feels pretty good today in my world. Not getting rained on. That's part of the reason I'm doing this today, is like just doing this part quick. Moving on. I think it's nice to hang out with people, with some people, and move, and then keep cruising. And like, I don't want to define my whole Camino by hanging out with one or two people the entire Camino. I want to move back and forth and up and down and check it out as I go and keep the freshness going as I go. Buen Camino! Buen Camino! Yeah, I need a bike. Let's see if those guys are smart. Doing Camino by bike. Hauling ass. Down street. I'm okay with this on my pace. It's not the fastest, but hanging in there. And I guess I'll just give it up for that day. This day, today, or I can just keep talking. Why not? No one's listening to this. Man, why is the universe so big? It makes everything seem trivial. Same with artificial intelligence. Why are computers so smart? And I think it's going to dwarf us soon. And maybe the computers will harness the universe to understand itself. Why? Maybe it takes the entire universe to run enough simulations to understand why the universe is big. That's even a correct question. Like in Hitchhiker's Guide, where they actually the answer is 42, but okay, great. Millions of years to crunch that 42. Ah! Yeah, it's definitely a slow one today. And by myself, which is nice too. I don't feel competition walking with people or passing people. Walking in the wind is cathartic for feeling like I'm accomplishing something, which I'm probably just walking around, doing the Camino, wasting my life. You know, that's a thought too. Why do people walk? Why do people do anything? This guy last night at our dinner, this old French guy, he said his son walked from France all the way to Jerusalem and didn't have to use €1. He just asked everyone where he met in churches and other things to say, can I stay here? Can I get food? And I think he made it. So, God, that would not work in America. But it sucks that we don't have a society that can support that, because it's so easy for households just to give out extra food and water and maybe shelter to a person. Or why doesn't every city have free food and water and shelter for people? I think Asia's a lot better for doing that for wandering sadhus and monks. Clearly he was able to do it in France, down in Jerusalem, so people will respond to that as well. But yeah, I'm hitting the tired wall here. 24 minutes. I feel like I could talk for 25 more minutes, honestly. I don't mind talking and showing beautiful rivers, beautiful valleys, all these leaves floating, and I just have to not drop my phone into the river. That's key. Could rest for a minute and let my feet not hurt as bad. Maybe that's a good idea. Alright, we'll rest for 5 minutes. Oh, this bench is so far down. Yeah, let's rest. Usually I don't rest, but I think getting off my feet for a little bit is a good idea.
steel benches. Oy. Okay, my pack is being supported. My feet are resting and I look terrible. The wind, I tell ya. Not me. Need a haircut. I should look crazy. Look at my crow's feet. I'm getting so old, man. Getting old's a trip. 37. I swear I looked like 32 last year. And this year is just like, I think I just need some more rest and a haircut and a shave. But yeah, it's rough out there for aging people. Everyone's aging. People age at different rates. My rate feels pretty decent, I guess. I don't know. I'm walking. I'm alive. So, oi. Got that gray beard though. Damn, I look old, man. I look like I could be like 45. I need to shave, get a haircut. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Just get a fat gray wizard beard for the win. Oh man. Life is trippy. Never quite turns out the way you plan it, right? But I think that's a good thing. I don't want to plan my life away. Oh. All right. I think I'm ready to start walking. If I don't start walking right now, I'm never gonna start again. Ooh, that feels hard. Once I get going, I'm okay. I'm gonna wait 3 more minutes until this turns to 30. Watch the trees. Oh, the sun's coming out. Ah. Sometimes it's unglaublich, which means unbelievable in German. I've just learned. How? Now I look good from this angle. What's going on here? That's bad angle. It's truly unbelievable. Why is my beard so gray on this side? It's truly unbelievable how beautiful this planet is. I mean, the fact that nature just grows stuff like this is so cool. It just does its thing. Day in, day out. There's little insects and birds and everything's moving. All the time. And I think we should be moving too. Oh, I want to get my hat out. But then it might blow away. Oh. The pack feels heavy. Especially on these damn roads. I'm tempted to go to my shoes. I don't want to rub my wound badly. So I think we shall stick to sandals today and just have a little bit of ankle inflammation. Oh boy, okay, gotta get my hat out for this one. on Dusty Road, baby. Kind of happens. This is the world happening. Look at this terrible hat I have. I didn't really even protect my face. And I can't see where I'm going. Perfect. What about Spain? It was so windy. These planes in Spain. Okay. This tree's like shit, man. I know trees windy, dude. Woo! Go! Yeah, baby. Tight trees here. It's pretty though. It's clouds. Okay, I'm just full clouds now. This has evolved into travel vlog, cloud documentary. Had a fucking kite surf out for on land. Think about that, man. Kite land surfing. Okay, let's put on some tunes. Adios. We got sufficiently deep, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to get deep sometimes. Getting deep and getting lessons are overrated, man. Just gotta live, brother. Just gotta live, amigo. Live while you're young and die while you're old. That's what I say. It's the cry of the pilgrim. The Camino. How the Greeno wasn't water when I came on the Camino. Why is there all these signs for water? I'm an idiot, really. My Spanish has been better. So, habla español muy poquito. Sí. I'm fucking awful. Anyways, peace, adios, mucho gusto, much love to the beings, the interdimensional portals, watching these videos, scraping AI data 300 years down the future from YouTube. Ah, so look,